And
And I'm Richard.
hey, here we go. Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Monday. It's 8 p.m. So Richard and I are here. We're actually on time, not a minute late. No technical difficulties. We had one podcast by ourselves prior to this podcast. And last week, Richard and I were thinking to ourselves, you know what? We haven't really gotten to use that random topics bullet point yet. So how about Wawa? And he was like, yeah, let's do it. So that's what we're going to talk about in a little bit. But first, saw you, brother.
All right. Hi, everyone, and welcome to the news. Today, we're going to be talking all about all of the news in pop culture. And yeah, that's it. Just pretty much pop culture. Yeah, it's funny because I'm always doing the research for the news, quote unquote, doing the research for the news. And I'm like, what am I? All right. So I will say, and we're going to have a news segment in our news section where I throw to Ryan for the news piece I missed. Because Ryan does a really good job. Actually, I'm kind of jealous because I forget to plug Welcome Back Comics enough. But Welcome Back Comics, Welcome Back Comics.com is its own podcast. Welcome Back Comics Facebook page. I should be on there sharing comic book news and comic book stories and stuff like that. And I just forget. I don't. And then Ryan all the time is sharing stuff on Oppenheimer projects. So, which I should just be stealing and sharing on Welcome Back Comics. So, but I'm not even that. That's how unfocused I am. So, we will throw to Ryan in a little bit to see what news he missed. But as always, we start out with our box office news, and I got to tell you, Ryan, the numbers are not improving yet. So maybe I feel like next weekend will be the first East Coast weekend without school. But number one was The Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard. Ryan Reynolds and Samuel Jackson with a full Salma Hayek is in the movie. $12 million.
What was that review?
The Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard was pretty good, I guess, right? I don't know. I didn't see what its Rotten Tomato score was, but 12 million. I think, and this is what makes me worried. I'm pretty sure this is theaters only. So. A Quiet Place Part 2, which I think has been in every time we've done the box office, in second place with 9.4 million. Peter Rabbit 2, The Runaway. Peter Rabbit gets into his head to run away for some reason. I don't know why. He's a bit of a. Do you know who does the voice of Peter Rabbit?
I'm gonna tell you now.
You named your son after him.
Is it Wait. Oh, James Corden.
James Corden. James Corden. All right.
Where's Monica when you need
her? It's only a joke if Monica was actually listening. The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It in fourth, and Cruella, also, who I think has been on our list every week, in fifth place. Surprising and a shock is In the Heights in sixth place. In Heights, they really thought was going to be a huge hit, and while it is on HBO Max, some of these, other movies have been on HBO Max and have done well. So I guess people did not want to go out to the theater to see In the Heights. Again, it's one of those. It'll be curious to watch because all the time, and especially last summer when Hamilton was such a huge hit on Disney Plus, people are like, we need to make sure we get movies of these musicals before too much time passes. And here's an example where they had, a young cast and a really good cast, and it just did not work out. So that's our box office news. Looking forward to. I'm also going to put a little piece together for next week's news about the movies we can expect during the summer. And let's see. Maybe, Ryan, you know what? That's what we could do, Ryan, is maybe predict which ones will be hits and which will be flops.
Yeah, and the other thing I was thinking, well, actually, that sounds like a great idea, but I wanted to get your quick input on this. As we continue to return to normal, if you will, I feel like the movie theaters is the one thing I constantly hear that people might not be ready to do.
Okay.
I don't know if you've heard, even after restaurants and concerts, people are like, no, I'm not ready for the movies just yet.
Yeah, we'll see. I guess maybe it feels too enclosed, and so I could see people not being into the wall to wall, shoulder to shoulder in the theater with people. So we will see. Again, it's one of those things like, I don't know, bring your mask, but we will see. All right, so in our sad news department of the week, this is one Ryan shared, and I was actually surprised he shared it because I was thinking Ryan was too young. But Frank Bonner, who played sales manager Herb Barlick on WKRP in Cincinnati, passed away Wednesday from something called Lewy body dementia, which is apparently Robin Williams had it at the end of his life. It was one of the contributing factors to Robin Williams' decision. So go ahead.
And who's the guy? I'm sorry, he missed the Buckner, right?
Bill Buckner. Oh, Bill Buckner.
I believe
Okay.
Bill Buckner had it as well too. Yeah.
Okay.
Not that, but I mean, I shouldn't say not that it matters, but while I'm
no, right, it does matter. Yeah, it does matter. So again, anyone who turned on the TV in the late 70s or the 80s when reruns of WKRP and could not have missed Herb. He always wore a classic kind of weird suit. And he was one of the those swarmy guys. He didn't, and again, he was then on every TV show after WKRP went away. He was on every TV show like Love Boat, Fantasy Island. And he did do some directing in the 90s, but for the most part, we haven't seen him too much. So we say goodbye to him this week. We do say happy birthday today. Now, this will test your youngness, Ryan. Today is Michael Gross and Meredith Baxter Burney's birthday. And, of course, you know them as... I think that silence means he's either Googling it or he does not know them.
Michael Gross. Wait. Is he a dad on something?
He's a dad on something, yeah. He's a dad on something, yeah.
Oh, Family Ties. I was like,
Family Ties. And do you know what Meredith Baxter Burney is on?
Not without Googling it.
So she's the mom. Right, she's the mom on Family Ties. Yeah, she's right there. So.
No way. So they had like their whole little "This Is Us" unanimous birthday thing.
Yeah, they did. Yeah. So something I just learned today, Michael. It's funny. Meredith Baxter Burney has not been in too much since Family Ties. An occasional, a ton of Lifetime movies. I shouldn't say too much. A ton of Lifetime movies. Michael Gross. Michael Gross has been in the Tremors movies, and he has played a couple SVU villains, like like really, really gross, like SVU villains. So that's Michael Gross's legacy. Saturday, June 19th was the celebration of Juneteenth. So, we just want to give a little shout out to that. For those of us who may not know, and again, this is one of those things where I'm not saying this with any air of, learning about Juneteenth just the last few years and kind of being aware of it and then kind of actually getting what it meant. I would say for a couple years, I've seen Juneteenth. I've seen people share about it and just learning that, so word did not get, not everyone was freed in 1863. Not all the slaves were freed in 1863 when Lincoln did the Emancipation Proclamation, and that it wasn't until around June 19th in 1865 that they got to a farm in Texas and the last known slaves were actually told about the Emancipation Proclamation.
And real quick, if I could, and right here, ladies and gentlemen, if you'd like to, there's a pretty good, I guess, short video about a book that's about Juneteenth that was written. And one of our guests, one of our friends, Imani Latif, is also featured in it. So I thought it was very good. I thought the insight from everybody, it was, it was short, quick. It talked about something bigger. But if anybody's interested, that's on our Oppenheimer Projects page. I thought it was pretty insightful. And
I think it's pretty confident to say anything Imani's involved with is professional and good and definitely worth checking out.
Definitely.
Yep. So again, we just bring it up because of, it's worth it. Amazon Prime Day is today and tomorrow. And I got to tell you, Ryan, this feels less like news article, more like I remember being so excited for Prime Day a couple years ago, like waking up at midnight or waking up first thing in the morning. And again, like it's Amazon. They've priced themselves to where, like, when they do a sale, like, I can get a 50-inch TV, Amazon Fire TV for $300. All right. I also know I can get that when you do a random sale in
I
the
was
month.
thinking
Or
that today. I was like,
yeah,
none of these seem like deals.
nothing really jumped out at me. Again, like at this point, they've done a really good job of making their Echo Dot used to be this little guy. Now it's
Yeah.
a nice big speaker, and
Yeah.
it's cheap. It's really cheap. But it's like I don't need an Echo Dot in every room. And they just
Yeah.
and again, I don't need a watch. I don't need a ton of these things. So but again, so maybe somebody who's been waiting around might find a great deal. And I know they do other things, but just not quite the thing. But I have a feeling next week I'll report to you that they've made $3 trillion in the next 2 days. But again, it's just more me reporting. It is Amazon Prime Day the next 2 days, and it's not quite what it used to be. All right. So did you see Batman was in the news this week, Ryan? Yep.
Looking great.
Oh, look at that. That's a great, yeah. So, which I do love that. It would be hysterical. It was like, oh no, that's him doing a movie about a politician. But I guess because I had to go and edit my own news copy because I was like, Michael Keaton was being filmed as Batman. No, Michael Keaton is being seen filmed as Bruce Wayne. So what I don't know is, are we going to see 30 minutes or 40 minutes of Michael Keaton in this new Flash movie? Or is it just going to be like Flash goes to this Earth and sees Bruce Wayne on like the steps of something?
Yeah. And
I'm hoping it's more, but.
Yeah, well, I was just about to say that I remember when it first made the news, you said something so simple, so true. This could be very special, right? And if we have Michael Keaton, who I just really feel like he doesn't get the recognition he deserves as an entertainer. He's funny. He can be serious. He can do tons of great things. And, seeing him back in this role, and this might just be me, something about the hair looks more Batman-y that he hasn't had in quite a while. Do you see it, or is it just me? It's like it's like his 1989 Keaton Batman cut. So, as a huge Batman fan, very excited to just even see this photo. And like you said back then, this could be something very special. So hopefully we get to see them, maybe CGI go a couple rounds, Flash and him together, but we'll see.
No, I again, this is the smart thing to do. We will always talk about nostalgia and how when we don't see new things, it's because we cater to that nostalgia market. And that you're selling more tickets to your movie when you do this. So we will see how much he is used. Now, for our listeners who might have little children still in the room listening, our next Batman story is a little more adult. And we will, of course, speak in code and speak tastefully. So if you have not seen the Harley Quinn HBO Max cartoon, again, make sure your children are away from the house for the weekend. You don't even want them coming back. The Harley Quinn cartoon is hysterical. It is phenomenal, but it is incredibly, incredibly adult and incredibly mature. And for a scene in the new upcoming season, they wanted to write a scene of Batman, I will say, pleasuring. I was going to say, I'm going to talk in code. They wanted to do a scene of Batman pleasuring orally his Catwoman. So as Batman was going to please Catwoman. I do realize now I would get kicked off terrestrial radio, as they say. I could not do it. Which if you've seen the rest of the Harley Quinn cartoons, there's nothing to that scene. Like, it's nothing compared to what they talk about and make reference to. But DC put their foot down and said, again, I can't fathom what they were thinking. They went, no, Batman would never do that. Batman's a hero. Heroes don't do that. Heroes don't, pleasure their... to which DC got the opposite effect once he went public with this, where it was like, Val Kilmer came out and said, yep, Batman does do that. So many different things happening with that. So I will segue a little bit into my Pride bullet point of the week for June being Pride Month. So the big spoilers, Poison Ivy is bisexual, Harley Quinn is bisexual, and both in comics and this TV show in general, they have gotten together, and DC is hoping that to kind of make them into this power couple. And there is a comic book coming out in September based on the TV show, where it's actually called. I'm not going to say it, but it's Are you familiar with Marry F Kill?
Yes.
Yes. So it's like eat lick F. Like it is just like, and it is a cartoon about. And yeah, the writer said like, oh, you're going to see Harley and Poison Ivy do everything in this guy. So I'm sitting here thinking like, the librarian and the adult in me is like, okay. The entrepreneur in me is like, all right, yes, we need to order those because some, listen, I mean, it's what's it been a couple years since Batman's penis appeared in an issue, and we could not afford to buy the issue because it became an $80.
That's what I was just about to say.
Yeah.
And like you just said, as the entrepreneur, you buy 6 or 10 because after people cancel it in 3 or 4 days or the first week, it's like, ha! Come to Welcome Back Comics at the Berlin Farmers Market, $2,000. Who wants it? Who wants it?
So yeah, so again, just a really interesting kind of thing where we always talk about decisions businesses make and why someone from DC. I mean, again, they probably could have just said, we don't want that scene. Like, that's a little too much. That would have been fine saying that. But I guess because they threw the line in of, and honestly, I think that's all that made it newsworthy was throwing in the line of, like, heroes don't do that. So,
and this is where you said, well, I was saying to Monica, so what? We're not adults. We're supposed to be treated. I was like, Damien just appeared out of nowhere. Like, and I guess I'm giving my 2 cents on the whole thing because, like, I have definitely seen Batman, even in animated films, if not directly with women, insinuating that he's with women, among other things. Like, and like you just said, like compared to everything else that goes on the show, like that's what they decided to cut. But we're not there.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's with Batgirl in the Killing Joke animated film.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Right. It's a little, as the kids say, sus, like, because she's definitely like she's an adult, but she's a young adult, and he is, an older person. So it was, they've let Batman do some things. So, again, it was just interesting. So, but hey, listen, they've got the publicity they want it, maybe. So any news stories that you shared with Oppenheimer projects this week that we missed out on or we should touch on?
You know what? I do want to talk about this because I'm not sure anybody understood what I meant, and maybe you will. And we promise everyone we're not going to start a whole other podcast. So, where is it? I'm trying to find it. The Matrix 4. I'm pulling it up right now. So, it says highly anticipated sci-fi sequel. We already know that. And then it goes on to say the Matrix Resurrection, I guess that's what it's called. The Matrix Resurrection screen this afternoon. And it is weird, meta, engrossing, surprisingly funny, and ambitious to a fault. So when I read that, I think you remember I posted some sort of dialogue that said, if you like The Matrix, you'll understand this review. Because I feel like that's what The Matrix has always been: weird, meta, engrossing, surprisingly funny, and just obviously groundbreaking and ambitious. So to me, it sounds like people who respect the film, some people I know are absolutely in love with the film, they're going to get what they've been waiting for after all these years. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I'm intrigued.
Right.
I feel Keanu, the actor he was solid in The Matrix, but he is not the joke of an actor he was early at that point. What my concern is, and I'm actually stealing lines from a lot of people, but Matrix 1 is a masterpiece, because it was a little groundbreaking, it was interesting, and 2 and 3 were just like, best to call it, for me, like they just threw a lot at you because they were like, we got to get this done. And they did something that I always asked for. So I guess I have to appreciate they did that, which is they filmed the 2 movies at the same time, 2 and 3 at the same time, so that they would be done. So they wouldn't lose actors, they wouldn't lose, cast people, But I remember falling asleep during the 3rd one, and I'm sure there was something, but like it was just like I couldn't even tell you. They're fighting they're underground, they're fighting, and what was the, who was the car, who was the So listen to me, if I sounded like I made no sense there, it was because I didn't think the movies made sense. So I do think there will be a rewatching of 2 and 3 before we watch number 4. But yeah, but again, like that's the thing. It's that decision a filmmaker has to make, which is, do we focus on our vision or do we go for what's commercially viable? And which also, you might have to help me with the names because we've proven how good I am with names. As a bonus Pride Month fact, the Wachowski brothers, who came up with the Matrix in '99, 20 plus years later, are the Wachowski sisters. Both transitioned. Yep. Which is which again is a story I'm curious more about. But so again, really interested to see what they're doing and if they're choosing to just to have do their vision and what their vision is. So either way, I feel like we'll be talking about $100 million opening weekend if we're in normal worlds. So.
And one thing I want to say, because I do think this all the time, and it sounds like we can definitely do a podcast on him as an individual. I've said this to people before. I feel like the Keanu Reeves from The Matrix is not even the same Keanu Reeves that we see today. He has just come such a long way as an actor, as a person. He's been through so much in his own personal life, and he kept going forward. Like you said, it used to be like, whoa, like Bill and Ted. Now it's like, yo, that's Keanu. That's my dude. He's such a nice guy. Right. People are always recording and being normal. So, yeah, I always feel like it's not even the same person. So that'll be interesting to see.
Yep. All right. Do we have anything else to talk about tonight?
Well, I guess we're gonna have to talk about Wawa.
I have to get the lid. I have to get the lid on right so I can do my product placement. And oh, look at that! I know it. I know what that is.
That's the very first Wawa per Google.
Yeah.
And
did you read that 13 fun facts about Wawa article? So, or you just did other
right here?
Yeah. Which I do. I love those kind of 13 fun facts about Wawa, which, like, you had 4 fun facts, but you spread it out. Like, Wawa is also a gas station. Oh my goodness. But Wawa, which that dumb article, and I will tell you, I have in my school we have something called Wilson Certified Teachers, which they are certified to teach children how to read and pronounce words, like really well. And that article says Wawa should be pronounced Saul, like Wawa.
Yes.
Like,
so
and she's like, no, that's not a thing. Like, right. And again, I know we have accents, and I know we say water and all that stuff, but it's, and again, it's not like Wawa, like, but it's Wawa. Like, it's not Wawa.
So let me tell my joke real quick, if I could. So I've said this for a long time. When you get up and you go to Wawa, it's a convenience store, right?
Yeah.
All right. So first of all, you have to avoid getting into a car accident like 4 or 7 times. Okay.
Sure, which is not even a joke anymore. But yeah, right.
No, it's not a joke. It's awful. And then when we finally park and everything's good, we get up and we go to the door, and somebody else is coming out. So it's this awkward standoff. You go first. No, you go first. Okay. So whatever. We go, we get our coffee, maybe we're elbow to elbow, and then we go to the checkout line. When we get to the checkout line, there's only one person, and the line backs up, and somebody else comes. Then you go to run around because they're set up, but somebody else already beat you there, so you don't really gain any time. Long story short, there is nothing convenient about the convenience store unless you're lucky enough to get in there when it's not busy, which, as we all know, Wawa is just... I think it said something like they make over $60 billion a year, just something absolutely insane. And it's never slow. I've been in hospitality for 10 plus years. I've worked in the New York City market. And when I go into Wawa, I'm intimidated. I'm being honest. The speed, I don't know how any managers actually have time to do paperwork. Like, it's crazy in there all the time.
And blanket statement, but I feel is pretty true. Like, they didn't close for a second during COVID.
Right. Yeah. That didn't happen.
Like they were like, we're a gas station. Like, you other restaurants have to close. Sorry, we're a gas station. We're open. We're a convenience store. We're open. We sell lottery tickets. So yeah, and Wawa was, again, I went to Wawa several times in the early months, of COVID because, and again, they did all the stuff of spacing out, but yeah, they really didn't miss a beat. I'm sure they took a hit to what they made, but yeah, they got on the, yeah. So Wawa, it's been around. That's been around. So the idea and the company's been around for a long, long time, but the convenience store aspect's been around since the 60s.
Yeah, so it's been around since the 60s. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, you started your life in Pennsylvania?
Yeah, Bucks County, Pennsylvania.
Yeah,
Yep.
right. So so in Wawa, like more, because it was not where I am in Acco. Like it was not, there was one, but there was one that came, and I'm sure if Shanna was listening or someone, like it came later. It wasn't around like the entire time I was growing up. There was not always a Wawa. And I, again, so for me, when I'm 15, 16, 18 years old, it's 7-Eleven. It's right. There was a place called oh my goodness, you're gonna be shocked to hear I can't remember. Not Quickie Mart, because that's not a thing in the real world. Not Sheets.
Quick
we
Trip?
Never had Sheets.
Quick Trip.
Quick Check is a more North Jersey thing. Oh my goodness, it was next door to my house. There was anyway, but just like a little 7-Elevens or Heritage type places were around, but Wawas were not huge when I was growing up. I am 18 years or so older than you, but I don't really remember them to the late 90s. And then they were these just little convenience stores, and
they were just these little. I'm sorry, I jumped on you there.
No, that's it. Yeah.
No, because I've been looking at this all day and I can't wait to see it. I mean, they were just these little convenience stores. And did you get that at Wawa?
I got a Wawa pretzel.
Woo!
Cumberland Farms is one.
I had one up the street from me too.
I think I'm gonna have to
when I lived in PA. But so, like you were saying, it was just this little convenience store, and then suddenly it's like, oh, they sell gas. And it's like, oh, okay, that's extremely convenient. Thank you for putting that there. I'll park my car, I'll run in and get a 5-hour energy, whatever the case may be. Somewhere along the line, their team thought that they needed drive-thrus, that this would actually be profitable, that we will open up a Wawa drive-thru. So I wish that there were more people here, or, if you're watching right now, jump in, chime in. My sister said this. My sister worked at Wawa. I have heard from a lot of people, and I jumped to the comment section on something. I can't find it right this second. Wawa food is like 50-50 with the consumers at the moment. Like it's either no, it's not good. It used to be great, but some people are just like, no, it's just awful. Andrew King made a great comment on it depends how much I've been drinking. I don't know. Me personally, I love their pretzels. I told somebody this a couple weeks ago. I love their pretzels. I love their meatball subs. Definitely a go-to. I think the mac and cheese is awesome. I saw that you had the gobbler there.
I'm a gobbler, yeah.
their turkey, the mashed potatoes. I'll just eat that stuff up. But it seems like for most people, they had a special place in their heart for it, and it's not there anymore apparently.
Yeah, no, it's and I don't know if it. And again, I think maybe something that's happened is in the last 25 years, we've gotten, 100 other fast food places and Subways and other places to get our food. And they have, what they've done is when they made hoagies, 15 years ago, they made 3 hoagies or 4, you know what I'm saying? Like they made,
right.
They also used to cut lunch meat. Excuse me. They used to cut lunch meat in some of the Wawas by me. Because Shanna had a Wawa. Yeah, Shanna had a Wawa by her. Now, even when Wawas became a thing, my family had a restaurant, so I was never going to a Wawa. I would go to a McDonald's, I would go to a Taco Bell, because I'd go to places that didn't have something I could make. I could make a hoagie. I could go out right now and make a better hoagie than Wawa can make. Just sorry, that seems. Guys, I'm sorry. I didn't want to come across so cocky, but it's the truth. And they've done this genius thing of it is the cheapest meat, like Sean is saying, it comes out of it is the cheapest meat, it is the easiest system. But now they make quesadillas, they make paninis, they do 8,000 things. And so when you used to have a 16-year-old who could say, all right, I'm going to put 4 pieces of cheese, some turkey on here, some lettuce, tomato. Now they have to know 800 things, and I'm sure there's some freshness issues and things like that. But
you just reminded me about something. I am sorry. Hang on one second. All right, ready? So I found this little short video on Wawa, of course, and what you were just saying about how many hoagies they actually make, among other things, and their training is actually what sparked it and reminded me. Check out this cool video I found. A quick, insightful, but yeah, let's see what they have to say. Some very interesting topics right here. Hold on. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Apparently, per my sister, the volume wasn't playing.
Oh, I didn't know if that was a.
Was that you? You didn't tell me?
No, I didn't want to.
Okay, all right. Hold on, everyone. Let's try this again.
It's funny because you're laughing and I'm like, I don't think anything's happening. But
You're like, Ryan, you're dancing like an idiot. Hold on.
that's great, man. All right, thanks, guys. So,
all right, here we go. Let's try this one more time. Ready? And it's only 2 minutes. Ready? Break.
Philly may be famous for cheesesteaks, but anyone who's driven down I-95
and anybody who had to watch me dance without sound,
without a second,
you're welcome.
People go absolutely nuts for this place.
We need a Wawa hoagie. Should I get turkey roast beef or bologna?
For a gas station, Wawa inspires unusual amounts of customer devotion and loyalty. More than one obsessive fan has gotten a tattoo of its logo, and numerous petitions have been launched by customers who want Wawa to come to their cities, ask a customer to perform a Wawa jingle, and they might even burst into song right in the middle of the store.
Mama,
okay, here we go.
Wawa. Mama, I love Wawa.
There you go.
When the Pope visited the city in 2015, the mayor welcomed His Holiness in the most Philadelphian way possible by offering to buy him a Wawa hoagie of his choice.
When I talk about, someone asks me what's good about where you live, I immediately, first thing out of my mouth is Wawa. Well, the Liberty Bell's on that list too, but it's past Wawa.
So what's so special about a gas station that serves sandwiches?
First off, Wawa is not a gas station.
It's like a convenience store times 100.
Wawa is like if you took a corner deli that had like been a part of a community and turned it into a chain.
Wawa started 50 years ago as a dairy market. It now has over 800 locations and rakes in more than $10 billion every year.
Okay,
and
10 billion,
only
not
having
60, my
stores
bad.
in 6
That's
states,
a lot of money.
It's managed to clinch the title of America's favorite sandwich shop. And Wawa regulars all seem to have their own go-to orders.
The hoagies are the best.
I love the tuna hoagies.
The hoagies are the best.
Roast beef with cheese.
Pretzels are my favorite.
Despite being a chain, Wawa's managed to maintain a small town feel that keeps customers coming back day after day.
People get loyal to their Wawas because they were always these little corner stores that you could go to that were also delis. You could pick up your basic groceries, or you could go there for lunch, or you could just get a coffee in the morning.
In 2005, the Harvard Business Review praised Wawa for its intense employee training. The customer service culture is so rigorous that the company even has its own training campus, Wawa University. Somehow, meatball hoagies, coffee, and cheap gas all add up to more than the sum of their parts. The fierce regional love for Wawa means that fans who move out of the chain's territory sometimes find themselves longing for a little piece of their hometown.
I used to drive home from school from Temple just to get Wawa because they have 7-Elevens up there.
The Wawa iced
and it's
tea.
upsetting.
I used to legit bring back to New York.
I do like
City
their
and
iced
bring
tea.
A bunch of Wawa iced teas.
It's not even a
can't lie.
convenience store, it's a Wawa. It's beyond.
Okay, so one thing I do want to talk about real quick after watching that video, and it's actually the one thing that sparked the video in my mind when you said it, was I think we're spoiled in the sense that we go into Wawa every sandwich will taste the same. Hopefully, I feel like it does.
Pretty close.
Right?
Yeah, I've never.
And there's a process to that, right? But one thing we don't think about is, for the most part, the consistency and the process are the same as well. And if the Harvard Business School is recognizing you for being such a regimented establishment where you keep growing and growing and growing, and you know that you're going to go in there and the sandwich is going to be made the same way and everything's going to be the same. The ATM is going to be free. You're going to be able to get your Red Bull, your coffee, whatever the case may be. I think that's something that absolutely deserves recognition that we probably don't think about enough.
Yeah, absolutely. It really, again, and that's, I think, when we saw what McDonald's has done and Subway, and which, again, like they followed that routine, and Wawa just was the first of this kind of store to be relatively big, because your 7-Elevens and other stores on that level, they do some hot dogs on a roller. Wawa was trying to, it's funny because, like, when I was kind of thinking of my notes, I was like, Wawa is great. You go get gas. You go get. By the way, do we have the ability to put up a poll before I forget this?
A poll?
What's the etiquette? How many of you park your car, like get gas, and then leave the car to go into order to grab your coffee? Like, will you leave your car to go get coffee, like at the gas tank? Does the question make sense? Like, will you?
Yeah,
right.
Makes sense. I unfortunately can't do that. I'm looking around.
No problem. So we'll just say to you, if you guys want to put it in the comment, like, how many of you? I feel like it depends on the time. At 2 PM when no one's in there, I might say fill it up and then go in and grab my, my drink or whatever I'm getting. But at 7 o'clock in the morning when there's cars in line, you really can't do that. But guess what? Does not stop the jackholes from this area from leaving their car to go inside and So, but again,
when you're getting gas,
yeah, that's a New Jersey problem though for our listeners from other areas, because we get served, we get waited on hand and foot. So,
there you go. Is that what you asked? Did I word it correctly?
It's not what I asked, but again, it's a good question. No, like you go and you pull up and you're like, hey, give me 20 a regular. And then you leave your car and get gas while your car is getting full,
Yeah, that's
fuel.
what I mean.
Oh.
Like
while you
get coffee.
Yeah. Okay. I hear what you're saying. Yeah. It's
sorry.
more or less, it's the same thing. I wish we knew each other better. I wish we knew each other better to fight. Like, listen, we discussed this in the pre-meeting. Like, what?
Wait, we got Tim Moran, British Tim chiming in.
Yeah. Yes. No, again, when it's empty, I think you leave your car at the pump, because you're saving time that way. You don't need to get out and park again.
My tank is empty. It'll take a long time to fill, and no one else is waiting, and I'm not getting much from inside. Only then will I leave my car at the pump. Okay, I think that's
So, sorry. My main point there, before I sidetracked myself with my own question, was, Wawa is interesting because it's food, snacks, and like a very small section of like a Band-Aid or like trial size Tylenol or something like that. It's not a Rite Aid or you're not getting. It's not a one-stop shop for everything you need kind of thing. So, which again, not that it advertises itself as that, but it's just this idea of like, you hear people like, oh, wow, you can get anything. Yeah, you can get.
What do you think about this one as far as getting anything? Yeah, that didn't work. Beer. When I heard that they were getting beer, they were getting wine, when they were adding tables, I was like, damn, Wawa's really coming in strong on this one. But we don't have one near us. I have not been into I don't think so. I haven't been into a Wawa that serves beer and wine or has tables and outside dining.
It sounds like a Pennsylvania thing.
There's and that's actually what sparked the whole idea, if you remember, was that it apparently they're getting one in the stadium area, which oh man, you couldn't pay me enough to work in a Wawa stadium on a Sunday. You couldn't pay me enough, man. You couldn't pay me enough. What about you? Could you just imagine this Wawa on a Sunday and if you have a back-to-back, like you have a Flyers game, a stadium, whatever, like No.
I mean, you couldn't pay me enough to work at a Wawa in Echo, so yes, sorry, but that's just me. But yeah, no, I can't even fathom working in a stadium in any way. So, but a Wawa in the stadium area will crush it. It is what is fascinating. And like before we got on air, Ryan and I were talking about Domino's, and I was kind of talking about the success. Like, it blows my mind that any of these pizza franchises are successful in this area. And same thing, like, I'm shocked that there are Subways. And when I see Jersey Mike's, all right, hey, Subway, you do an okay job. Subway, you do an okay job. You do an okay job of that. Jersey Mike's, and all due respect if there's any Jersey Mike's owners on here, like, you should be embarrassed for what you're doing. You should be embarrassed. All right. And again, and Subway shouldn't be super proud of what they're doing, but this isn't Wisconsin, again, even Primo's Hoagies is a solid hoagie. And again, there's people who are like, Primo's Hoagie is amazing, but Primo's Hoagie is a solid hoagie. Wawa is better than Subway, and Jersey Mike's is trash. Jimmy John's is, I don't know, fine.
Yeah, I had
I only have ever had Jimmy John's out of state.
John's?
So
yeah, I thought I had Jimmy. Oh, sorry. Jimmy John's is fine. Jimmy John's is fine. Primo's is always my go-to. Wawa, and going back to what Andrew said, late at night, sure. Like, it's some things do poke your stomach differently after you drink it. It's late, and that could be because of options or whatever. But you're like, oh, that would taste so good right now.
But I cannot lie to you. The amount of times that I've come home late at night and with a Wawa meatball, like, there's just something about a Wawa meatball. And again, it fits into that. So when you present, I can hear my voice in my earphones.
That's weird.
Yeah, it's weird.
So let's read these off real quick, and this will.
I won't talk. So.
No. I was gonna say let's read these off real quick, and then it'll. One of my favorite terms from Richard that I use all the time, and you will hear all the time on the show when we talk about things, segue. So this will segue into next week's episode. So we're going to read to you 13 fun facts about Wawa from mentalfloss.com. So number 1, Wawa was founded more than 200 years ago as an iron factory. Though the first Wawa store was opened in 1964 in Folsom, Pennsylvania, the company actually has more than 200 years of history. It began in 1803 as a New Jersey iron factory and was incorporated in 1865 as the Millville Manufacturing Company. Then in 1902, Millville's owner George Wood opened up a milk processing plant in Wawa, Pennsylvania. The cows for the plant came from the English Channel island of, don't kill me, don't cancel me, Guernsey. So real quick, when I was in culinary school, one of the chefs told me that Wawa has the best milk products. We used Wawa milk, we used Wawa heavy cream, we used Wawa milk products for everything that we did at the culinary school. So I know that Wawa is very big on food scientists. I know that they're always hiring. I'm sure there's a whole list of things they have in there to do. Have you ever seen heavy cream at Wawa? Because since I've been in culinary school, I look and I just can never find heavy cream. Have you seen it? It's a weird question, I know. No. Wait, hello, Richard, say hi.
Yeah, because I'm going to echo.
Echo. So number 2, doctor certified milk was a key to Wawa's early success. So I guess bouncing off of what I just said about culinary school, in the early 1900s, many children were becoming sick from drinking raw milk. So Wood had doctors vouch for his product. The doctor certified milk delivered directly to a customer's home made the business a huge success. And I'm sure that's something that most people don't know. I personally didn't know it, that Wawa milk was part of the day-to-day delivery, which I wonder how that actually went out of business. That's a whole other podcast, how they ended that process. So that is number 2. Number 3, being allowed to remain open on Sundays helped Wawa's business boom. The stores were successful in part because convenience stores were exempt from laws that kept other stores closed on Sundays. And without being able to verify at this very moment, my dad once told me that 7-Eleven is called 7-Eleven because it was the first convenience store that was open from 7 to 11 as opposed to 8 to 10. So, again, we might have to look into that fact a little bit more and fact check, but that is what I have heard. Number 4, the very first Wawa store remained open for more than 50 years. And if anybody's ever been in the restaurant business, worked in the restaurant business, or seen a restaurant open up around the corner from you, you know that you really have to be strong, talented, and have something special to make your store last more than a year. Convenience stores, restaurants, multiple stores of any kind go out of business after the first year. You're lucky if you make it to 5, 10, but if you're, ambitious and you work hard, I'm sure you'll make it to that point. But to be open for 50 years, that is absolutely crazy. So the first Wawa store remained open for more than 50 years. Number 5, Wawa's business grew quickly. In 1964, Wawa debuted its first store. By 1972, there were 100 Wawa stores open for business. 100 Wawa stores open for business. By 1992, there were 500 stores. Today, there are more than 850 Wawa stores, more than 600 of which are gas stations. So we see that's something that I always think about when I drive by. You just see like the shell of an old Wawa. It's probably been there for 8 to 10 years. It's like, what do you ever plan on doing with that? Like, what are we going to do with the shell of Wawa? So Richard brought this one up earlier, or actually it looks like the 6 and 7 will segue into one another. Number 6, Wawa is in, Richard, please help me here, Ojibwe word?
It's
Ojibwe word? Hopefully. Wawa is an Ojibwe for Canada goose. I guess maybe Canada, I don't know. I'm sorry. Please don't cancel us.
It's an Indian word for Canadian goose.
Okay. You might be mispronouncing Wawa. Want to pronounce Wawa correctly? It rhymes with saw, according to locals. So saw, it's Wawa. Wawa. Well, hopefully. Then we've all been saying it wrong all these years. Number 8, Wawa has undergone a number of slogan changes. We've all seen it change throughout the years. Did you ever hear the little theory or truth, I'm not sure which one it is, that if a Wawa back in the day had some sort of capital letter in its signage, that meant that it was a Wawa that was open 24/7?
Yep.
So it panned out as far as I know. That may have been a thing, but it panned out as far as I know. Wawa sells a lot of hoagies. So going back to the comparison, we were talking about Primo's Hoagies, Mike's Hoagies, Subway's Hoagies. Wawa stores located in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Delaware, Maryland, Virginia, and Florida sell more than 60 million made-to-order hoagies annually. 60 million. So with all the products they have in-house, they sell 60 million made-to-order hoagies annually. That's excluding everything else they do. That number is crazy. Number 10. Coffee. Am I from New Jersey, PA, New York? Coffee is a hot seller at Wawa too. Wawa brews more than 195 million cups of coffee each year. That signature coffee, introduced in the 1970s, is proprietary and available only in Wawa stores. Number 11, people love their Wawa. In 2009, 5 Westchester women completed a 2-year quest to visit every Wawa then in existence. The New York Times Magazine asked if the chain was a convenience cult. And Jackass star Johnny Knoxville has a Wawa tattoo, which he got thanks to whiskey and adrenaline. And that will take us into number 12. Kate Winslet really loves Wawa. In 2021, HBO premiered Mayor of Easttown, a limited series crime drama that takes place in Pennsylvania. And yes, where the characters, including Winslet, are seen indulging in and even talking about their Wawa coffee from time to time. I believe hers was 2 creams, no sugar. And our friend Zabel went out to get that for her, otherwise known as Quicksilver. And even Winslet had a few things to say about the storied convenience store. In an interview with The Envelope, the Los Angeles Times podcast, the Oscar winner described her first encounter with Wawa. It almost felt like a mythical place. By the time I got there, I was like, it's real. Walking into Wawa ultimately felt like it was kind of an honor in a funny way, because to me, that was the heart of Delco. So to finally walk through the door of a Wawa, I don't know why I felt like, oh yes, here I am. I belong. This is where it's at, Wawa. So And I think that you also spoke to this, that when you posted it, Kate Winslet has just blown Wawa up. Now people want to know. I don't know if Richard can hear me. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh.
I just don't want to hear my echo.
I don't hear an echo. Do you hear an echo?
Yes.
We have a fan here, Shanna Hart of New Jersey, probably from ACO, just guessing by the name Shanna. Wawa has the best coffee. I have heard this. I make my own coffee at home, but I have heard a lot of people say that they love Wawa's coffee. Do you drink Wawa coffee? But I mean, you're the one that asked the question. So do you enjoy it?
No.
No?
No.
You don't like their coffee?
I don't.
Well, Richard, as we do that, he got the pretzel. Oh wait, what is that? Is it
It's
a hot chocolate?
Hot chocolate.
Oh, I see. I knew it. You're a hot chocolate Wawa guy. Do you still have to key that in?
No.
No. Are you having?
I'm not talking because I hear my echo. You have to stop presenting.
Well, okay. I'm stop presenting. I'm good now. So, are your thoughts on any of that? And then we'll talk about our segue. Oh wait, Shanna from ACO also says he isn't a coffee drinker. Really?
She's right.
What do you do in the morning?
I just
Psychopath?
go to work. I drink Coke or Pepsi.
And Shauna from Pennsylvania, I do like their coffee bar. I wish every place had one. I think the whole concept, I agree with her, a coffee bar, it's very convenient. There's like 100 different types of sugars and creams and options even. So the coffee bar, I think, is a good idea.
Can you try to cancel out your presenting screen again?
Yeah, let's see here.
That's better. Okay.
Now he's got a whole list of shit he wants to say.
Now I'm ready because I was right. You had me. No, but I want to focus on Shauna and Shanna. If you see Shanna's name there and you see Shauna's name there, why would anyone say Shanna's name? Like they will call her Shauna sometimes. Like people often call Shanna Shauna.
And I've seen Shauna spelled SHAW.
Oh, yeah, right. That makes sense.
N-A, yeah, I've seen that too. So Shauna and Shanna.
Shauna. And now, again, if we were from Mayor of Easttown, we'd probably say, Shauna, go get the hoagie from the yeah. I can't
from the
do
home.
it.
From the home.
From the home. Yeah, again. We will talk about Mayor of Easttown next week in I don't know what that word is. We will talk about Mayor of Easttown next week. And I will tell you that Kate Winslet has nailed herself, that classic thing, but she really hit the home. You did it excellent, Bucks County. Yeah, right. And there were several actors there who must have just been right from Philly, playing some of those roles because their voices were perfect. But it is. Ryan said it to me earlier. It's the best kind of mystery that I've seen in a while, where you're not quite sure. I mean, I was sure. And I'll talk more about why I was sure next week. But you're not quite sure what's up and what's going to happen. And but Wawa has become this national thing because of Mayor of Easttown. I know that Goldberg's will show Wawa a lot, but I just don't think it hit in the way that this Mayor of Easttown thing has brought the attention. So.
And I love how she said Delco. For those of you that don't know, that's Delaware County. But I did live there for about 2 years of my life in Delco, and they got a lot of it right. So that's it. That's our Kate Winslet, once known as Rose, who managed to stay afloat like Harrison Ford. Mark Hamill was always Skywalker and the Joker, but Harrison Ford went on to do other things. Actually, that was a joke on Family Guy. What was it? It was like... I'm Harrison Ford, and also the only person whose career isn't ruined by this entire trilogy.
Right, is that right?
But yeah, so Kate Winslet, standout. Always.
Right. Yeah. Now her and Leo did a good job of escaping just being Jack and Rose. I mean, they will always be Jack and Rose, but they are stuck. We will. That is an absolute. Okay, there has to be a lot of research into it, but that's a podcast for the future. Just stars who are one person. Stars are Mark Hamill's Luke Skywalker. I heard a news story about him this morning, and it's one of the reasons he's so beloved. Like he had a Star Wars fan who had dementia and who was dying, and he went dressed as Luke Skywalker and just pretended to be Luke Skywalker. Again,
he's awesome like that.
Yeah, right. And he just pretended to be Luke Skywalker for this fan, and that's how cool he is. And again, I'm sure if he was in the area, he would try himself a Wawa hoagie. So I will tell you that I do. So Wawa became most prominent in my life. I realized some people thought we were wrapping up. Well, because like when we would leave like Zach's sporting events on a Friday night after a Friday night football game, during the fall, stop and get a hot chocolate cappuccino mix and a gobbler. A great way to unwind. Other people would drink beer or have something or have a whiskey, but again, and that's what I like about Wawa, like is things like the gobbler, something that I can't quite get somewhere else. So, and again, it's convenient. It's going to be on every block, and it's soon going to be a gas station. There's like, a handful that are kind of like grandfathered in. A couple in our area became Old Nelsons, like the one in Medford and Acco became Old Nelsons for a while, which is really, really good food. Like they use boar's head meat and really good food, but they weren't Wawas, so they didn't survive. So
you got to be a Wawa. You got to have a Wawa. So yeah, and I as we're talking about what we use Wawa for, I'm not big on the Wawa food, but for years, the first thing I did in the morning before I got on the road was I would stop at Wawa and I would get a 5-hour energy. So, it like I guess overall, the weird point is it's just super convenient. They're not going to go anywhere. People do love it, even if you say you don't like the food. You can't beat the convenience. You can't beat the accuracy. No. Wawa is here to stay.
And like Shauna said, and I kind of talked about her name instead of talking about her point. Like they have been really smart the last few years when they have just put like 20 of those pots. It's not glass. It's not glass. You're not. It's just little hold down pots and then the 20 different kind of creams: Irish cream, light Irish cream, hazelnut cream. Regular creamers, half and half, regular milks, skim milk. 20 different sugars, every stevia, sweet and low, 1,000 stirrers and 2 different kind of lids. I am this lid, and Shanna is the flat lid that you pull open, which, I always like, well, no, get this one. It won't spill. She just likes her. Shanna is no sleeve. I'm a sleeve. I took it off so we can say. Like Shanna's a no sleeve. Yeah, Shanna's a no sleeve. I don't, but again, and I think their coffee is their key to their success.
I would agree with that.
That's what kept. And then they were like, "Oh, you want to get a coffee? You want to get a? Yeah. Hey, listen, they're Sizzlies. Their Sizzlies are, Actually, I don't dislike their breakfasts. They do a little bit. Yeah, Shanna's saving the planet. Shanna won't get a stir. We have an American Tim we know who will use like 2 stars. Because he thinks the 1 star isn't strong enough. So, the little things we can do. But yeah, no, listen, Wawa is, and again, they're getting there. They're getting other places. Royal Farms tried to show up on Wawa's turf,
and they're smacked around.
And they're fine. They're doing it, And then I won't lie. I said, guys, try Royal Farms chicken. When people try their chicken, they're like, it's fine. I'm like, oh.
and then I tried Wawa's chicken.
Right, yeah. That's it. Wawa has not got into the fried chicken market yet. That's one place there. They know where their bread is buttered, so to speak. So Wawa. Hey, let us know in our comments and what convenience store we should tackle next. Do the combination Pizza Hut and Taco Bell, combination KFC and Taco Bells are pretty.
We could just keep it awesome. Going. So. But yeah, so like we were saying, next week, Mayor of Easttown. If you haven't seen it, don't come back here until you see it because there's definitely spoilers. You don't want anything to be revealed. You want everything to be a secret. Next week, we'll be talking about the Mayor of Easttown. I'm sorry, not the Mayor, Mayor of Easttown. So yes, we're going to be excited to talk about Mayor of Easttown. I think Richard cut out a little bit early. Oh, wait.
I'm in the waiting room.
I'm glad you made it back for the exit.
Okay. Did you hit the exit button?
No, you just disappeared. I was like, Richard kind of just disappeared there. But yeah, so next week, Mayor of Easttown, not the Mayor of Easttown, Mayor of Easttown. Check it out. Come back here. Let's discuss. Mayor of Easttown, come back. let's discuss. Like I said, it's 7 episodes. You think, oh, well, I don't have time. Trust me, you just have to watch like the first 2, and then you're sucked in. You're done. So you will definitely be in time for next Monday.
You'll be done in the weekend.
Definitely. So I think that's it for us, ladies and gentlemen. It literally just turned 9 o'clock on the money. It is 5:50. It's 59:50. 1 hour. We'll see you next week. Take care.